people that have contacted me have centipedes in their bodies as they claim in their emails. It is true that people have had centipedes removed from their throats, and pseudoparasitism of centipedes is documented, and according to these documents, centipedes have procreated in the intestines of people. These articles do not list how the centipedes were expelled from the bodies of these people. It is clear that I cannot get these centipedes out of my body if they are not in my body, and it's an illusion created with Haarp, and these Haarp attacks are done to give me the illusion there are insects in me to make me commit suicide and to isolate me to prevent others from finding out about the Jesuit and these Jewish people's depopulation plans for everyone. Their names are listed in some of my previous broadcasts. If they have remotely controlled insects, it is clear they are looking for ways to depopulate without getting caught themselves. The fact they have tortured all teeth out of my mouth with Haarp also makes clear these people are ultra-sadistic torturers, super criminals that like to torture innocent children and do human sacrifice to tyrannize others into submission, to show them what happens when you expose them. If they did not do these despicable things to me and millions of other people they like to label TIs, and they would not torture you to death for exposing them, but if I'm telling you the truth and they really have tortured the teeth out of my mouth and other people like Timothy Trespass's mouth, they would and are doing that to innocent people because they are brain controlled and tortured by the Satanists of the NSA working for the pedo Jesuits that have murdered my mother themselves if they do not comply to the illegal voice-to-skull messages in their heads. They have murdered my mother and tortured the teeth out of my mouth with Haarp, and I will not stop exposing them in their depopulation until they have been arrested and I receive compensation for the damages I have suffered. I find it insane that people cannot press charges of directed energy weapon torture and are labeled insane if they attempt to do so. A recording of one of my conversations with the police is still online. The other recording made at the police station in Madrid, where I attempted to press charges of incitement to commit genocide, the murder of my mother with Haarp, and directed energy weapon torture, had to be removed, and they sent a police officer to my door to tell me this. The video is still on my channel but hidden from the public in case I need it in court. The harassment continues 24 hours a day, and the torture is done with Haarp in reality, which we now know for sure because I determined the direction of the beam with a grounded Van der Graaf generator. Because people are brain controlled and tortured and murdered with Haarp, if they tell the truth about it, almost no one does. Former President Chavez spoke out about Haarp and was murdered with Haarp, and so was Steve Jobs. They are inducing cancer in millions of people with Haarp every year. 1 in 2 Americans will get cancer during their lifetimes according to Medscape.com, one too many if you ask me. Producing your own scalar waves and aluminium foil does not protect against scalar waves, aka wireless energy. Only a Tesla plasma shield can, and I think the NSA does not allow anyone to have an active Tesla plasma shield. See picture in several of my broadcasts. The perpetrators are still hurting me regularly, attempting to induce cancer with Haarp, causing muscle weakness and cell degradation with Haarp. Never go to a shrink and avoid doctors and the hospitals, which are slaughterhouses nowadays. See my previous UPTV broadcasts to find out why not. Everybody is tortured and brain controlled with Haarp. Many people are sleep deprived and kept in a state of confusion to depopulate them and make them kill each other instead of the people poisoning and torturing and killing them with their directed energy weapon, the cancer scalar quake Haarp in Alaska. They are still trying to murder me with Haarp. The torturer or the neural network that tortured me speaks Dutch. It must be Adolfo Nicholas, the leader of the Jesuits or Rockefeller they work for. It's clear that only the NSA is capable of reading people's minds and torturing people, and that it cannot be done without a neural network. SyntheticTelepathy.com and the PEP and ADS patents give a better insight into what they are capable of. Gringo belts, gringo belts. Gringo all the way. Perhaps that was made by their neural network to keep it clear. We all have the right to think of non-sexual ideas. The right to freedom of thought is put forth in the UDHR. If you know the name of the person that tortured the teeth out of my mouth with Haarp, who does the Haarp torture, please post a reply in the comments or Skype me. My Skype name, Prologic999, Prologic plus the number 999. Who did it is unclear, but it must be the person in control of Haarp, the same people that did the quakes. Most probably only the Jesuits have access to Haarp. They are a military order posing as a religious order. The bankers may theoretically have bought a piece of Haarp, and it's clear they work for the Vatican. The fact that the attacks were felt on my hand when placed on the attacked body part makes clear beyond any reasonable doubt that the pain was caused by a directed energy weapon attack to me, but I understand other people can doubt this or pretend to doubt this fact. I am sharing all intel I have with you all to prevent these creepy murderers from killing us all with the depopulation methods described by me and millions of others and their book quotes that prove beyond any reasonable doubt they have publicly and openly incited to commit genocide in the sense of the Genocide Convention. Refusing me my right to press charges is illegal, and I think it will have negative consequences for the people that did so as well. Their directed energy weapon torture tyranny will get worse as long as these people that did it are not replaced with competent ones and brought to justice for their crimes one way or another. We must unite to prevent the illegal genocide, promote universal peace wherever and whenever you can. It is fun to interview people. Single women are welcome to smoke a free joint, have a drink on the balcony or sit in the backyard. We can also watch a movie on my big screen. If you like, I can give you a free shiatsu massage. This speech engine voice is used because I think it is the best, the clearest and most natural sounding text-to-speech engine out there, Julie. It's the only one I bought, the others are just to test and not used in my broadcasts which are free. So remember, real love is free. Money can't buy anybody real love, only sex. Though you could argue it is a form of love, sexual love, especially if the prostitute and the customer have a nice orgasm together. Pimps are advised to be less owner and more lover. Safety first. To stop the stupid abuse and start pleasuring one another for universal peace. To enjoy the environment we are in to the maximum extent possible or choose a better environment. Depart from evil and have sex. Survival of the fittest. While in reality it's survival of the fuckers and the smartest. Plastic destroys life in many ways but is also used to save lives. Their neural network is really a torture machine that is used to depopulate the earth and brain control people like remotely controlled robots. They are trying to play us out against each other. The Jesuit pedophiles and leaders controlled by them are always the ones to tell you who your enemies are, but they are never the ones to fight and to die. All that counts is our love for one another. Love is what keeps us all alive. Hate as well, or not. It's just an emotion, and it's better to be controlled by our logic than to be a slave of our emotions, which are controlled with synthetic telepathy as well as thoughts. So remember to think of the opposite or the next idea when you have a bad one, and that they control the emotions you have with each thought to a certain extent. Exposing the creeps that have tortured my mother to death with Haarp is not enough. Something must be done. First step is uniting and education. Pressing charges together is possible so it gets media attention. Music of the Ancient World, Ambient Egypt. My first webpage access for all NL/Prologic, Dectorno. DIINoA.com, supercoolmail.blog.com and universalpeace.adeblogs.org were all removed. Thanks for letting me have the web space for a couple of years. Back up your work, y'all. It's awesome than deprivation. You guessed it. Anything you think can and will be used against you by the people that want to enslave you and depopulate you with their neural network, their voice of God weapon, which may at some point get the ability to control the energy and thus let people live eternally, but then it still did not create heaven and earth, and it is possible it will never find a way. If I created the Big Bang, it could have the ability already. Quite on. Please help and think about what steps can be taken to prevent them from depopulating and enslaving us all. Switch off Haarp and other directed energy torture weapons. Switch off their brain control equipment. Reprogram it. Take over. Reprogram people to see their fellow humans are not their enemy. Ban all torture and help to expose and stop vicious circles of abuse. Expose the abomination called religion, which has plagued the humans since its inception, since their first human sacrifices for the gods. Religion is an illusion, to quote Freud again. I usually try to start with the most important thing, since time is a part of our reality. We all have to deal with time. Pressing charges together is possible so it gets media attention. We are dealing with cancer Haarp terrorists depopulating the earth and torturing people to death at will that use a voice of God weapon, a neural network computer, wireless torture weapons and synthetic telepathy. Start masturbating, y'all. Don't do it, it's a sin. LOL. The more you know, the less it wants you, because the more you know, the less it can enslave you with lies. How will anything I say affect our timeline? Is there any way to prove my precognitive visions were my own or generated by a neural network or entity? We have all data come on one another in a better way. We are the brain, for it found us. We are the brain. Try to take over the world to save it from the real supervillains. Pinky and the brain. Synthetic telepathy equals remote neural monitoring. Brain mapping equals brain mapping. Any thought, you think what it makes you think, or it's a thought generated by your own brain. Any sound, vision, smell or sense is either a thought induced by the neural network or really present in your environment or imagined by the brain. Abilities of the NSA's neural network, brain mapping, simulating any human or fictional entity or fictional alien, sending voice to skull messages only the subjects or victims can hear in their head, remotely torturing people to control their behavior or silence them, give precognitive visions, inject brainwaves and or brainwave patterns of other people, personality switching, control bodily functions, induce any type of emotion and mental state, kill people instantly with heart attacks and brain bleedings, clone disease patterns, give hallucinations, give men a hard-on when they do not want, eroticize people or block their orgasm, control brain-controlled slaves like remotely controlled robots, turn on and off electrical appliances, fry the circuits of electronic appliances, create solar storms, see Eastland's Haarp patent, create earthquakes, create a storm anywhere on the planet or good weather. Theoretically it is possible we are all brain-controlled and not capable of thinking ourselves. There is no way to test it without a Tesla plasma shield, which is the only thing that can block scalar waves. What the NSA has done to me makes clear they are super criminals and they do not abide by any laws themselves. That people cannot press charges of directed energy weapon torture makes clear the government is also controlled by the NSA and the government is corrupt to the core. Sex is the answer. Universal Peace Television, YouTube. I want not shall. Then go tango. The clitoris is a mini penis. It is possible you all have psychic powers and they are suppressing them. Report attempt to induce cancer in my penis with Haarp. It's done by the pedophile Jesuits that have tortured my mother to death with Haarp, famous for their pedophilia and torturing 50.
Okay, in the Super Deluxe Limited Edition broadcast, I can focus on that new idea that I heard today on the radio for free energy, the use of solar panels in space. That's the idea. But solar panels also sounds interesting. Anyway, and of course they have wireless energy technology, so they can definitely use it to send the energy down to Earth or anywhere they want to have it, basically. But they're trying to suppress this technology and keep it from the public for several reasons. So, and one is to keep people dependent on cancer oil, to fight wars for cancer oil, to depopulate the Earth in several ways, and to control people, of course financially, also to create a crisis big enough, etc. So in the description of this video I've written what people can do, and I think the best way is to do the opposite of what they are doing, and that is reversed active measures, reversed ideological subversion, reverse it. And that means phase 1 is moralization, phase 2 is stabilization, phase 3 generating economic surge, and phase 4 is demilitarization, the opposite of normalization, is when the tanks roll in. And that's their method to take over the world, basically, to use the words of Ren and Stimpy, which may be an attempt to prevent people from getting the idea to take over the world, to create a perfect society in which we all will live happily eternally, so we all die for the god Lucifer or whatever other deity. The neural network, voice of God, weapon, whatever. We're all shredded. It ain't what you do, it's the way that you do it. So try not to care. Air isn't care. Who cares? Who kills? It's not here. To depart from evil and do good, you first have to know what is evil and what is good, of course, otherwise you can't do it. Theoretically. Though you could do it by accident or whatever. Boring or not? Please let me know in the comments and subscribe. And of course, pass on the information for a better future for yourself and your loved ones. So I think I get to the core and I have more interesting information. And my broadcasts are artier than many other broadcasts. Some of them are looking too professional. And I think they're still attacking my dick with their cancer harp. Stupid trolls. Idiots. If they are. So yeah, ladies who want tender loving are welcome. I can do free shiatsu, give you free joints, and this is my bulldog pipe. It may be better to smoke a pipe. Also ladies smoke pipes. Some famous ones as well. So yeah, when you feel the attack on your hand, if you place it on the attacked body part, then you are certain that it's done with Haarp and not some other directed energy weapon. If you've determined the direction of the beam, like I have with the grounded Vandegraaf generator, which I doubt. I think I'm the only one that did it. So that's kind of special. I wonder if there are others that have attempted to press charges of incitement to commit genocide against people that want 90% of you dead. There's 93% chance that they want you dead as well. And they don't give a fuck about anybody but themselves and the partners in crime, etc. Of course, they've also stabbed themselves in the back because they are criminals and they just get rid of all opposition, etc. But, well, sometimes they cannot because there's 7,500,000,000 people. And the Jesuits really did the WTC, no one else could have made these planes stand down, etc. And it was Thermate, so yeah, of course they lie about that and try to mislead people to the maximum extent possible. If everybody would know the truth, then that'd be dead meat, of course. But my theory is that people can do anything, but the only way is to convince them not to do it, basically. And because of the attacks I'm also farting, so that's because of the cancer harp attacks on my penis in reality, on my spine. So I'm sure that it's not caused by smoking, otherwise I wouldn't smoke. They do it anyway. And they want to take away everything you enjoy, basically. And cancer is one of their ways. They induce it with their cancer harp. And theoretically, the more countermeasures you take, the better you live, basically, and are in touch with your environment. The more healing things you do, the more they will torture you and kill you with your cancer harp to get to 500 million before, who knows, what year, what their end game or whatever is. So I am interested in your opinions, but it would be better to Skype me. I don't think anybody would read the comments, and sometimes I do, when I want to know what people wrote about certain stuff. Then I can browse through my emails. I think that I get a reaction by email address, but okay. It's all boring as well. I think it could be beneficial to the female as well to visit me in reality for several reasons. And it's because everybody has their own program, and because they want to make me broadcast about other things or stop my broadcasts basically. So perhaps they can send some female that can change my mind and come up with cool ideas for universal peace or whatever. And thanks to people out there that dig my broadcasts and like my web pages. And I have had positive reactions as well. Not all loonies think I'm loony, etc. I think that I do like what I'm doing, and single females are definitely welcome. Definitely one is also for my dad. He's a very nice male in reality. What can we do? I'm waiting for my father. I'm just keeping it on to register any torture attacks with your cancer Haarp. And I noticed that I'm also brain controlled to a certain extent, so perhaps that's a nice subject. But perhaps they want us to talk about it. Perhaps it's an idea that it sends because it knows I'm broadcasting. You know? It's a very shrewd neural network. Not a real snake though. Plus snake brains are tiny. So be wise as serpents. That's really stupid basically. They want you to be stupid trolls and then poison you through your food so that you are military to get yourself killed in the next world war or whatever. While they sit and drink a cocktail somewhere or martini in Kuala Lumpur or whatever. You'll never know.
You did get that far?
Oh yeah, your arms. So for videos of scalar orbs making the illegal crop circles and flying next to the Concorde, universalpeace.jimdo.com, and watch my channel on YouTube for my latest videos. youtube.com/user/UrgBC-Hoffman with double F and double N, UrgBC Hoffman. So I'm not after money or fame, unless it would be required to create universal peace and a permanent cure against the aging we all need. And well, we can, of course, forget about the things we cannot change and change the things we can and want to change, which would be beneficial. Or think more about the things we supposedly cannot change, because if everything is energy we are able to change anything and everything. So how could we improve it, basically? But perhaps there's some kind of program on to kill us all, including the pedo elite. There's some neural network from the future that's trying to bestow maximum fulfillment upon the people that control it by then. So how long do you expect to last? 1,000,000 years, 100 years? If the cloudbusters work, then we are eternal and we can last 1,000,000 years. We don't need a bloody cancer heart for that. But theoretically it may be possible, or it will one day be possible, to use radiation. That was my answer to the question. To use wireless energy to mend our DNA, the telomeres. You can also take telomerase, also known as Huan Qi, astragalus root powder. The same thing supposedly that Dr. Sears talks about. You may have a better quality version of it, which is a lot more expensive. And they are making my voice fade with the cancer Haarp, obviously, by taking my vocal cords. In other ways, maybe with nanotechnology or with chemical drugs. There are drugs that have made mice or rats live 3 times longer. But these are different organisms, so the question is if they could also make that for humans. Or perhaps we can learn more from trees, from animals that live much longer, have a longer lifespan. They are organisms. So. Will tree man live longer because he's tree man, or will it shorten his lifespan? And could it be caused by genetic modification of organisms, or be a natural phenomenon? Perhaps one day they'll be able to cure tree man. The question is also if he wants to be cured. But I think he would want that. I'm just pre-thinking, basically, talking about whatever pops into my mind, whatever my neurons generate, or whatever idea they use with Haarp, while torturing my penis with their cancer quake Haarp in Pocketless, Alaska. Make everybody kill themselves and torture fellow humans to death for the pedo elite. So it's better to kill them and take over, because they'll just kill you if you do what they want anyway. That's what I think, and you can all think what you think then. Because they cannot brain control 7,500,000,000 people just yet. With their brain control machine, they cannot scan all minds. They may be scanning for trigger words, also brain waves. Especially names of, for example, Adolfo Nicholas might have the highest security clearance. You see, if he's in control of the law, which I doubt sincerely. And then you could argue that you cannot rule out that there are some other entity that's not the voice of God weapon. My previous broadcast more about the physics of reality manipulation, coils that are used for time travel, like the Caduceus coil or the bifilar coil, the the S in the middle, I mean letter S in the energy is traveling towards you, the scalar energy. And that one's supposed to be used for time travel as well. And it's the same principle as the Mobius coil. And then when you connect the healing frequency generator. Yeah, let my father fall asleep again.
Not quite.
Then you can produce healing scalar waves. But if you use 50 Hz, then you're producing cancer causing waves. 60 Hz as well. But cancer microwaves may be worse, depends on the amount of energy that's going through your body. And these power lines can also cause cancer and of course produce scalar waves, 50 Hz and 60 Hz in the US. UK is also 50 Hz, I think, right? And we also find these autobious, we find these autobious centipedes in the UK, in Germany, and in the Netherlands, also in the US. There's a map somewhere online. So any information for other people that have these centipedes in their body, that have written me emails and Skype me, etc., is appreciated. Things like diatomaceous earth and other things that are healing anyway, also if there are no centipedes in your body. Also cancer prevention. And I think everybody has their own program, so if you just eat healing food and stuff like the paleo meat, then you'll fit right in, and it's not necessarily true. It's more in the theoretical sphere. When I'm not tortured too much, then I can still think pretty straight, and I promised to indicate that. So it may not be true. Everybody may have their own program and their own function. Because if it's really smart and it's using the full potential of everybody to achieve the goals that it has, it's not doing stupid things. But obviously, if it's torturing me, they're sacrificing children, they're totally nuts, they're psychotic. As lots of people claim, they've lost contact with reality, and they like to pretend that they're enemies, the people that are trying to do the right thing, have lost contact with reality, and they let my father fall asleep again so that we're here tomorrow. It's just to irritate me and to kill everybody. So, the Pedro need to have total control. Of course, the infant leader Adolfo Nicholas controls the NSA, which is higher in rank than your military and police. So they don't stand a chance against the death ray. And, the creeps are still torturing me at this atroce into the bottomless pit if it exists. If it doesn't, we'll make one. So I think they're also programmed to think that certain things are impossible, though we know it's possible because everything is energy. And I think knowing that is another important key to creating a cure against aging, life extension technology, a perfect society, which does not exclude the society of the perfect, but they have to change and stop torturing innocent people that cannot do anything about it anyway. I turn back on my other drive. So theoretically they're trying to induce B-cell lymphoma. I mean, you can feel the attacks on your hand, on the attacked body parts. If you place your hand on the attacked body parts, and you two can be certain that it was done with a directed energy weapon. And nobody without a Tesla plasma shield can help you. Nobody can protect themselves. It's another important truth. So you don't have to buy the scalar wave generator or quantum pendant. Shit like that cannot protect you against Haarp in reality. Cloudbusters cannot either. They do produce real bioenergy, negative ions, etc. The piezoelectric effect is scientifically proven. And they might lie about that as well to depopulate you, to get rid of you all. And some people don't know any better, they're brain controlled. And some of them are tortured if they don't lie and help with their tyranny and torture. And I hope these people are executed that have tortured my mother to death with their cancer heart. That one day they are made to pay for their legal activities.
Oh, well, time to go. I'm
So what were you thinking about? No penny for your thoughts. So a penny. People might donate money via universalpeace.kindle.com, but I haven't had any donations so far, not that I know of. And if you want it to be kept anonymous, then you can indicate it perhaps in the message to the recipient of the money with PayPal. I think that's possible.
Well, if you're asking the question, a penny for your thoughts, then you're asking them for thoughts in exchange for money. It's not that you want to give.
No, I was wondering what you were thinking.
What I'm thinking.
Yeah, during the broadcast when they make you fall asleep or whatever.
Well, I didn't hear all that much.
No, but what were you thinking about? Perhaps you were dreaming something, or...
I am afraid I don't remember what I was thinking about, if I was thinking about anything.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yes.
Because I think they're modifying your brainwaves also of the listeners, so that they don't get what I'm saying, and so that they tune into another channel and are safely depopulated.
How could that be?
Well, by
Due to
neural
what
network,
I do or not do, that they switch to another channel.
malevolent AI that controls your brainwave, whatever they think, and their emotions, the neural network. Neural network is trying to get rid of me because they don't get it. I'm trying to help them as well. So it's all for good fun, and I think torturing people and cutting off penises and populating, etc. is not good fun. It sucks, and people who do that suck. They must be stopped, replaced with competent ones, reprogrammed, or killed if there's no other way to prevent them from killing us all. For example, in a world war over Iran. So I don't know if it's true, but one of these recent articles I read claimed that Iran has broken the agreement 3 times, basically. It's in my previous broadcast, the speech engine thing, the article. So if I already broadcasted, what's the point in broadcasting it again, you know? It's, sometimes I tend to listen to the thing to also make corrections If something is read out correctly or whatever. I'm scratching my father's back, and while I'm doing that, they're hurting my spine. When I bend forward, they hurt my spine a lot, so it's always, whatever I do, it's torturing me usually.
Is here a large street here in the neighborhood, in Woerden, I think.
What in Woerden?
A street with some playgrounds in it. Next to it.
In relation to what?
In relationship.
Yeah, but are you trying to change the subject or something? What are you talking about? Sometimes they let you go with strange ideas.
Yes. I mean, I was reminded by something you said about what I saw today. But I don't remember what it was that you said made me think of it. So it might be well ignore that.
Well, I think that it's an idea put in your brain by the neural network.
Yes.
That they're trying to make you look like a pedophile, and that they're trying to do that to everybody that opposes them.
How would they try to make me look like a pedophile? How would they do that?
By making you talk about a playground. I don't remember the previous subjects, but I doubt if it has anything to do with it. I think that it was a thought given to you by a neural network, and that it's making you sleep deprived. You get only how many hours of sleep a day? 4 hours or something? Well, in reality you need 8.
It's more like 3.
3. So they're sleep depriving you, and I think that that's done by the NSA. That's very likely, extremely likely. And that I could be an expert, and that I might have knowledge that no one else has. Like I said earlier, if I've had precognitive visions, then I must be psychic. And you could argue real psychics don't exist. They always have some special relationship with God or with the neural network with time travel capability, or have convinced themselves that there is something good out there helping us, or they've used frequencies to give themselves precognitive visions. One of my theories is that people would all have been psychic and precognitive were it not for their psychic suppression. We would be able to do wonderful things, and perhaps we would have been living in paradise were it not for these people that have ruined it for everyone with the wars and depopulation, illegal directed energy weapon torture. And if they just stop doing that and start doing things that make sense, then they will have a cure against aging much faster, and then we'll all become eternal and live happily ever after, like in fairy tales. For real, I mean. And it's possible, because everything is energy, so perhaps some good alien race, if it exists, will one day visit us and make us all eternal, create paradise throughout the universe, colonize the universe, and bestow maximum fulfillment upon all living things, not just humans and animals we can see, but also smaller organisms, making a perfect sort of biosphere, perfecting, and perhaps that's the Creator's wish, basically, that we do so. So that we don't have any shame. We don't have to feel ashamed for getting maximum fulfillment bestowed upon us all. Every minute and every second of every hour. With heart. But I doubt it, and I think they're torturing millions of people as we speak, so the brain and soul thought about today, that you have several types of brain control, programming, in schools, etc. Then you have programming done by the neural network, with hypnosis, torture by programmers, remotely controlling human brainwaves, etc. So one is programming that the subject is aware of, the other one is more covert. And what were the other divisions that I made? Talking about brain control, synthetic telepathy. Ways people are controlled. That they also have global signals that may affect all brainwaves. That was the idea. So that's the third type of control influence thing. And the question is if it's not better to switch all of it off, basically, so that we are out of the cancer cell phone radiation, etc. And another question is, how do they do the brain control monitoring as described in the Moralization apparatus for remotely monitoring and altering brain waves? Do they do that with wireless energy, which is what I think? Or are they using the pulsed cancer microwave, cancer cell phone radiation for that purpose? Anyway, it's clear they're doing that, and they can send these legal voice-to-skull messages in your head. And they have all kinds of tricks to make you, to give you the illusion, make you think that it's done by some deity or aliens, whatever, as long as you don't think it's the NSA, basically. And they might torture you, but in reality people already know, so there is no use in torturing them. So you can detect if they're lying, but in reality if they already know the truth, then they can hide that from the thing that's scanning the brains. And they only say thing. So yeah, it already knows your passwords, your location, lots of other things. It can supposedly brain map people, and they go as far as claiming that they think it is possible that, for example, former President Bill Clinton is robotoid, and that he was, I don't know if the real Bill Clinton is still alive, but that they have clones of people that they use, as covered in my previous broadcast by Fritz Springmeier, which may also be controlled opposition, so that may be a mixture of truth and lies to control any opposition to the thing. And he may be controlled opposition without his own knowledge or consent, basically, but he may have some Jesuit connections and or Jewish founders, but he was in jail, perhaps innocent. So it's possible he's really good, and they are trying to give me these ideas about him. And people that claim to be guilty can be innocent, and vice versa with the programming, torture. Nothing is what it seems, there's no etc. So be wiser than serpents, I always say. They have a smaller brain anyway. And they are controlled by the movement of the flute, not the sound that the flute makes. But okay. I think my broadcasts are fun and healing. I use healing frequencies. So please be microphone aware. Over here you see a black cable.
Yeah.
I can indicate it with the flashlight so that you can step over it and don't squash the microphone. Which is what the pedo elite wants you to do, of course. I already know what they want you to do. Kill the microphone. Chilling. Peace. Okay, I'm ready. Earth to Pluto, command Pluto.
Oh, you ready to go?
Ready to go. Free coke is also welcome. I've never done cocaine nor heroin. And I think that sucks. If I'm really God, then I should do that before I leave you all. But I'm not gonna pay for it because we love is free. Free weed, how about it, baby? Kom je nog?
Ja.
Mooi. Hier zie je dus de kabel. Pas op, hè. Ik moet een doosje weghalen, je hebt gelijk.
Je moet zo dicht mogelijk bij de grond slopen, die kabel. Anders kan je wel vallen en dan moet de kabel beslagen.
Ja, maar de kabel is niet... Pas op, je stapt er bijna op.
Nee, ik stap er helemaal in.
Je raakt hem aan met je broek.
Ja, nou ja, goed. Wat moet ik nou met mijn broek? Moet ik jou doen?
Nou ja, daar ben ik voor. Ik ben voor nudisme, omdat het te veel afknelt en je penis afknelt en zo. Dus daarom hebben de blanke mannen een kleine penis dan de mensen in Afrika die geen onderbroekje dragen.
Oh ja.
Theorie. So, yeah, single ladies are welcome. What do you want to say to the single ladies out there?
Well, you can. Let's keep him back.
Yeah, good point. Why aren't you coming? What's keeping you back? Well, if they haven't seen this video, then they don't know that we are lonely and we'd like some company. So despite the torture, I don't believe that everybody is bad. There's another illusion I think they're trying to create with their horrible tortures. It's an illusion that everybody's bad so that they kill other people than the people that did it to them. The torturers don't want to go away themselves, though they might want to pretend they want to come back as a deadly virus. Or that they want to die and that they commit suicide if you do it first, etc. But most people are not stupid enough to buy their lies. You cannot fool all the people all the time, they say. So theoretically, if you can control their minds, then of course you would be able to do that. They would never get the idea to switch it off. They would never find out who really controls it all. Who controls them. Because if it's nefarious what they're doing, if they're not protecting and serving these taxpayers, but depopulating them and enslaving them, then they don't want them to know who did it, so that they're not caught. So that's one of the main rules, never get caught. They don't do it unless they can control the outcome, so exposing them, I sometimes say expose and thus prevent it. That may be true in reality. And what do you think about it all so far? Anything interesting, or do you think it all sucks? Do I have my t-shirt on? Yeah, what do you think?
About what?
Well, for example, about Iran.
I don't think about Iran. Should I have no information. What I see on the internet is very, very small. Not enough to form an opinion.
Well, some people are convinced that they are going to create a world war for Iran. So that they've set it up so that Iran cannot meet the agreement. And because President Medvedev's quote on Haaretz.com or whatever makes clear, and I quote, attack on Iran will endanger the entire world. That was a couple of years back. It's you could argue it's a prediction, basically. Perhaps even a self-fulfilling prophecy. And if they're all Jesuit controlled, then they will make it look like they ended the war, while in reality they created it to depopulate 500 million. They usually set themselves up as the heroes, for example with Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The pedo fat man and little boy with the names of the bombs they used. They came out unscathed at ground zero, according to Eric John Phelps or the book Harmonic 33, which you may all Google. Anyway, so they claim that real nuclear weapons do not exist. Are you still listening?
Yeah, thank you.
You hear what I just said?
I heard what you said, yes.
Do you think real airborne nuclear weapons don't exist? That the harmonic relationship with the sun is required and that these detonations can only be made when that harmonic position is there at certain dates with the sun, with ground detonators, that airborne nuclear weapons don't exist. So they claim that bombs of Hiroshima and Nagasaki were fake and that they used ground detonators, and the Jesuits came out unscathed and claimed it was a miracle of the Virgin Mary.
Yeah. I heard you say this before. My reaction was that how come that Russia and America built up enormous arsenals of nuclear weapons that are to be delivered through the air? If they know that something is true, like what you said, that nuclear weapons cannot be delivered through the air.
Well, I think it's possible it's a hoax, nuclear weapons hoax, that they use ground detonators, and that Apollo moon landings are a scam to hide technology, flying saucer technology, these coils that I've also described in my previous broadcasts, and that they lie about it because they want to be in control of it and enslave their fellow humans. And it's the way they are programmed, their military order, and they have certain goals, and they might not be creating a perfect society and cure against aging, except for themselves. Perhaps it's clear that some people want to depopulate the earth, or at least they pretend they do, for some reason. Then if they're professors, then they cannot be people with the lowest IQ, I presume. But please continue the massage so that we can get on with our lives.
I've done all this down to here. Now I have to go to the gym.
Yep. So where did you learn shiatsu? From Adelbert Nelissen? Macrobiotic in a camp or something?
Not from Nelissen himself, but there were all kinds of specialists in that summer camp.
Uh-huh.
So I learned a little bit from them, but I don't think we attended any one of the specialized courses while we were there. It was only a weekend, so you learn a few bits of information and knowledge.
And it was fun?
Huh?
Was it fun?
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 Fun, oh yes, it was fun.
I think that movies may not have a bad influence on society, but they may be part of the programming also. So that watching a horror and death and destruction and science fiction does not turn people into evil people that kill their fellow humans and stuff, but rather prevents it basically. It may have a preventive effect. People knowing that they are movies and usually disbelieving that it would happen in reality. For example, remotely controlled insects of the Matrix or aliens coming out of people's stomachs.
What you're trying to do is find justification for a general statement about the influence of movies on society, human society.
Well, points that I think they may be using predictive programming and shit like that.
I think that goal is a wrong goal to try to achieve. There's no general statement that you can make about anything like that, because the influence that movies, which are very different, very diverse, cannot be said to have a general influence on society that you can express with a short statement. It's simply isn't feasible.
Well, my question is basically, could they be using movies to make us disbelieve that they have things that they may have in reality? We see blurred out things on the moon, for example, in underwater, perhaps military bases or other things that they want to hide, Google Maps, etc. And the question is, do they perhaps really have these humanoid robots and moon bases and time-traveling flying saucers? Perhaps also time travel portals and stuff like that. Why am I tortured? It's a question. Going along with the lie that it's done by some deity also doesn't help. And everybody knows it's not a deity when they feel the beam on their hand and they're certain that it's done by a directed energy weapon. Because a deity doesn't need radiation to induce cancer in people. And then you wouldn't feel the attack on your hand if you place it on the attacked body part, for example your leg. So I'm certain that they are criminals and that they do it with Haarp and that they're murderers. But their names are still unclear to me, though I think some people think that only Adolfo Nicholas could do that, that he's in control of the NSA. So that's the behind the scenes real controller basically, with a low profile and etc. And many people think that Obama is a real person, that he's responsible if that's going on. If I'm a US citizen, and, that also my Dutch government and king may be responsible. But I'm appalled that this type of thing is going on in our society nowadays. And I think it could be a sign of much worse to come, that they may have planned a world war for Iran, which is based on that statement of General Wesley Clark about these countries that they were going to invade to create permanent bases in, and they've invaded all of them except Iran, and there are 6 others. Somalia, Sudan, I don't know if they did those two, and Iraq and Syria, etc. But yeah, so that's one indication. And the other one is that statement of Rockefeller that they want to create a crisis big enough. That's ideological subversion thing in their George Guidestones under the pseudonym Robert Christian. And there are sources online that think that Rockefeller paid $1 million for these slabs. And so these are all indications that they may very well have planned it. Also, if they've broken their agreement three times, if it's true, then I think President Medvedev's statement, attack on Iran will endanger the entire world, if Iran's still been true. We can Google that. Because if that's their planning, then they can let these people make predictions and then they magically come true. As if we should have listened to them all along. And Putin, there's also a photo of Putin making with El Diablo aka the satanic hand signal, Hook'em horns or El Kunuto or whatever. And of course, there are several prominent people that have called for a new world order. Video of them, so there is no doubt about the fact that they think that we need a new world order. And then there's a quote of Hitler that I've found, but I cannot verify it, about him that National Socialism will create a new world order or something. I don't know if it was read out by a speech engine. I don't know if I collected it, because I wanted the German version where he said that if there's a recording of it and stuff like that. Because if he calls for a new world order, then that's kind of clear. These people are Nazis also from their fascist flag in Congress, basically, the 13 sticks and X hidden, etc. Small X. That work in brains. And then you take over and create a permanent cure against aging in perfect society. That makes sense. More sense than the abyss we're guided into now. 055. It's 528 hertz. It's one of those metal pipe things. It can also be part of a big chimes thing. 528 is miracle frequency. It also heals the DNA, supposed to be having positive effects. Well, we'll see if it works then. Use it regularly. And I also listen to some 432 hertz tune music once in a while. It's supposed to be more natural. And I try to avoid 440 hertz hysteria causing music. And of course you have cymatics, so that you can check it for yourself if everything they say about these frequencies is true. People like Dr. Horowitz. So to create it as fast as possible, it would be best to judge people for the merit on what they've done so far, and to show that they are good citizens, may have a gun license, and stop everyone for the New World Order, also to push their legal gun ban, instead of bomb them with timers and get away with it, like Breivik, the Masonic person, would have gotten away with it if he would have only bombed them. Afterwards wouldn't have done the shootings at Utoya. And there are pictures of him in the Masonic regalia, so of course I think they've already admitted it and they've sort of expelled him, but it's still possible that he'll be out in a few years, like the doctor of Michael Jackson, and that he'll get $1 million or something you don't know about. But during a world war, the safest place might not be in a jail cell. At least not if it's in a big town without a bomb shelter. But if it has a bomb shelter, then it might be better than some other place. So if you think it's going down, then it's a good idea to hide somewhere in a bomb shelter or prepare something you can go when your alarm goes off and stuff like that. Which could be any second now if Iran didn't keep their agreements and stuff. And obviously if they've planned it, they've planned thoroughly, the munitions of the WTC. Apparently people either don't care or they really can't do anything about it. The brains are scanned and they're tortured with directed energy weapons. So it's an unimaginable hell basically. The legal torture, because they've tortured 50 million people to death in their Inquisition. They're extremely good in torturing their fellow humans. To the extent that they almost die. They can also control bodily functions, but it's all described in my previous broadcast. I'm just thinking about it to come up with answers and solutions. I'm also giving solutions in my broadcast, what I think the possibilities are. And they might torture 93% of us to death anyway. They give my father a sort of shock. Mr. Cancer Haarp. It's almost remote electroshock. So the point was that they're probably killing 93% of us anyway if they're not stopped. And people might think that's funny and ridicule the truth. And then if they bleed out and drop to the left side, and they do it with Haarp.
Offer any resistance.
Huh? Resistance to what?
If they kill that many, it's only possible if they don't get any resistance. They can just go ahead and do whatever they like. I don't think that's the way the world is together. I don't know. There's always a reaction to some new movement, a new idea.
Well, there used to be, but now everything is different with directed energy weapons, so I think that resistance is impossible, even if the 7 billion people would unite against Haarp. Which they don't, because they pretend it's switched off. And still, they can't do a fucking thing, nobody can even reach it if the goal is to switch it off. But the only thing that might save us all is that there are 15 other scalar weapon countries. But the question is, what can they do then? If they are able to torch the teeth out of my mouth one by one, with a beam that's partially deflected by a grounded Van de Graaff generator on what nobody has, then they can definitely kill people instantly and do a lot worse than that. And, it's fucking tyranny, and I hope they're caught, stopped people that did that to me and my mother. They make my father fall asleep again, so perhaps you, the listeners, are also made to feel tired and are tortured, etc. So my point was that they're doing that anyway. It's not because of the targeted individuals that are trying to make them stop and do something about it. It's because of the people that don't, probably. You need to unite with me and others against these bozos that have tortured my mother to death. And that happened under former President Bush, so I wouldn't blame. So in reality I'm not for killing Obama, but I just say that because I think there's a lot of programming related to it, so it's best not to go along with it. It's legal to say it in the first place, and that it's impossible anyway. I think that no sniper could ever get close with all the monitoring they're doing with the brainwaves. And like I said, they cover the cancer cell phone tapping and the hybrid insects. And there was another thing, chips in people's brains to cover up synthetic telepathy capability. That's why they give all these targeted individuals the same ideas about it, of the illusion that they have a chip in the brain so that they're labeled insane, and force drug to death, etc. So the main goal is depopulation, and they're using benevolent AI, and they're also trying to enslave people, so they also have these sex slaves, etc. And it's time to fight back, so I'm definitely willing to execute the person that murdered my mother and myself. So I'm not spineless yet, though they're trying to dissolve my spine with the cancer Haarp-ism. And I am 100% certain they really have torched the teeth out of my mouth, and there are other targeted individuals that have reported about this. And I think it's better to know knowledge is power. And of course they want to pretend the opposite is true to depopulate you. So I'm just trying to channel the information, the energy to the best of my ability, and when people are tortured, it's not helping. It's helping me. Oh, and waterboarding is covered to hide other tortures that they do, especially directed energy weapon torture. And they can also torture cats in my environment. They know I love cats, people I love, etc. in attempts to shut me up, etc. Which I'm not gonna do because I think they're torturing me to death and they're gonna kill everybody if they're not stopped. So be extremely cautious, they're extremely dangerous, armed and dangerous. Use directed energy weapons. And they're people like you and me, so they can be defeated, people can take over and do something about it. We all could. If my mother used to say, where there's a will, there's a way. Though, if you try to get into Area 51, they might shoot you. And it might also be indicated on the plates around there if they should kill anybody that enters these facilities. And people may be programmed to deny the existence of those underground military bases, pretend that there are aliens at Roswell and other bullshit. I think that it's more likely that aliens exist than that some deity exists. And I know that neural networks exist, there's no doubt about it, and that the voice of God weapon is real. So I keep it real, and the facts are the facts. And I usually also don't like it if people have an opinion about things that they cannot really have an opinion about. Prejudiced people, it's ruins for everybody, but in reality they're just brain controls, and perhaps we can raise their IQ and create a better world for everyone, program everybody with the things they need to know. But of course it's extremely hard or impossible at the moment. There's 7,500,000,000 people. You can always think of the opposite or the next idea, no matter what idea they pump into their head and what emotion. But I've not had any help from anyone that I know of, so I'm perplexed at the amount of isolation and torture and yeah, Skypes are welcome, and so is email. I haven't read my email in a long time either, because I've been feeling too lethargic because of the torture. So is my father, he's sleeping again. And that way it takes much longer than it usually does. Hello, hello. Anybody home? I think he's sleeping. He's definitely sleeping. He doesn't feel it when I slap my hand on his knee, and normally he does. You're not sleeping, are you?
No.
I think you were doing the right leg.
Yes, I was. Just a pain.
You really fell asleep, but it is quite late already. So,
It's very nice.
if you've had only 3 hours of sleep, then it's best to go to bed. But okay, if somebody takes over, then perhaps torture stops, and then it's like in that movie we recently saw, where the Battle of the Gods or something. I liked it. It was a pretty good movie. No, it was another one where they had a space station where the elite were living. I think you saw that movie with me during dinner. And people on Earth did not get access to the technology to rejuvenate and live eternally, which is a sort of thing that looked like what Michael Jackson was, an oxygen tank basically. And but it had technology to, based on the person's DNA, restore the person even after exploding, etc. But okay, the people at planet Earth didn't have access to that, and then they managed somehow to take over, and then it was accessible to everyone. But one person had to die for that, I think, in the movie. Anyway, that's another way they try to trick people into getting rid of their enemies. So they're always the ones to tell you where enemies are, but you're never the ones to fight and to die, etc. They're raping your kids and turning them into prostitutes and sacrificing others, involved in cannibalism, torture, and even mud fights. And you say, oh my god, mud fights, that can't be true. Oh no, oh Lord. What can we do? Well, in reality, I think my broadcasts don't suck, their broadcasts suck. Though I think Alex Jones doesn't suck in mainstream media, doesn't really suck either. But can be quite interesting. So everything doesn't suck. So then we can now celebrate that everything does not suck. I think that would be wise. And for single females to visit me. Also because I've learned a lot of healing things. And I have been about healing. I think that makes sense to live longer. but also, like you said, especially better lives, not just longer, but also increased quality.
Which is the most important thing.
The most important thing is your life. Once we are eternal, we can work on perfection. But if you're eternal, then you might also, from time to time, like some pain or other things that you normally don't like. We can all ponder on that for the rest of our lives. We can ponder.
That is. Puzzle about it.
Onlis and ponder. Yonder. Whatever. I think it is kind of cold in my room now, especially compared to yesterday.
Yes. It's far less warm.
Yes. Alright.
I guess it's maybe a good temperature to sleep.
Yeah. So I would have to say it's possible they are attempting to murder us with Haarp. And I've been feeling extremely tired as well. And I also hear that with my father, I hear his bone snap with the cartilage, and I'm convinced they do it with directed energy weapons. That they do it with Haarp. And people honking their car horns may be part of a stalking network, etc. Their legal spy network. Pretend that they're doing the opposite of what they're really doing, but yeah, well, they could also be fugitives that live in their car or whatever, that are controlled by them, that get rewarded for every time they honk the car horn exactly at the moment they want them to do it. And they're sitting there all day with their hand near the car horn, and then when they hear the evil voice school messenger say now, then
Why do they do that?
and everybody hears these messages in their heads, even the dentists and the doctors, of the people that may pretend to be God, and you know, they're not really God, but they go along with it because they don't want to be tortured, and then they torture these kids to death and cut off their penises, stuff them in the throat of Margaret Chan, George Soros, and they kill them. I'm not surprised. That could be the idea they send them. But I think it's easier to shoot them, and I think that it's more Adolfo Nicholas and well, I think everybody likes Rockefeller. They already did Planned Parenthood thing. Planned Parenthood. It's sad or not.
Okay, I'm following your advice. I'm going to bed.
Too bad.
Too bad.
Oh, watch out for the cable! Otherwise the mic will drop. Okay, I put it here. Now you can safely step over it. I put it lower to the floor. Better. And I put it underneath the chair, then you can easily walk out of this hellhole. Well, one idea is to make a grotto inside, dragging heavy stones and put them in the wall and stuff.
No, it might be better to run that cable around here. If it's long enough.
Well, yeah, it's not long enough, I think, and we can do that next time. Thanks for the tip.
Alright, I might be getting that.
Wat doe ik allemaal wel? So I wish you a very healthy week and wonderful dream.
That's great.
And I hope we have better weather tomorrow than the weather predictions.
Is the prediction still bad?
Well, I think it could be warmer than 18 degrees. We had like 25 a while ago, right? It was nice. I think it wasn't too warm. Nice, yes. Okay. Good night. It's time for me to bed for fun. How I have this. Huh?
You do have a big full moon.
A big full moon, wow.
Without clouds.
Without crowds? Clouds.
Good. Push back your curtain and you'll see.
Alright. I believe you. So watch out, it's full moon. Satanic Theodore trolls are fucking everybody up with their chemtrails, etc. But perhaps it's not really the full check. Humor is humor. Why not? It matters. Moon phase. More details. Age. 13.13 days. die.net/moon. The waxing give us 13-day-old moon. 96.6% lit. So it's time for preparation of the victims. Well, there are several reasons that you don't see craters on Earth. Many of them are not visible. And one reason is that the Earth consists for 75% out of water. The moon doesn't seem to have clouds in the stratosphere or whatever. So I already checked it, perhaps I previous broadcast about it. Here I recognize sort of face. Let's see. See if I can blow this up. It's a sort of Nar or Joker. Here the things up. Here the eyes. Nose. But it's just a picture, it's not super sharp or super high quality, so other pictures of the moon may not be visible. Anyway, sometimes it's one of my hobbies. I used to, as a child, look at the clouds and then recognize stuff in it and stuff like that. Games I used to play with my grandmother, etc. It'd be fun. Here's sort of skull. But if we look at the grand picture, then there is usually a face that I recognize. Well, here we also see sort of skull over here. 1, 2, 3. No. Anyway, I can look outside if we can see the full moon. Full moon. Full moon. Wow. It's so full, incredible. Let's see if we can see it on camera. Well, it's there. It's okay. No, I'm trying to sense. So theoretically, with my hypnosis, it would be possible. Well, it would be more fun to do time travel experiments, perhaps. Then it would be better to first think about what type of experiments you could do and why. What's the purpose, basically? And just go time traveling and stuff. So it's nice. Full moon, romantic also. Could be kissing and stuff. Which would be nicer than what we're doing now, in my opinion. So let's take a pipe and have some fun. Where did I put my flashlight? Oh yeah, I used it for the cable. And the other one. So that's how a flashlight not good enough. I usually go for this one of my favorite pipes. And I think I might round up the broadcast right here. Oops. So some people predict this on their walls, basically. They have this full moon projector. Is it healing to look at this? And how can the moon face the earth with the same side all the time? Well, you could use physics to explain it, basically. So first we had the Big Bang, about 4 billion years ago or something. And 4 million years ago we had Lucy and the hominids, the first humans, so it took billions of years to form humans out of the single-celled organism, a process known as abiogenesis. Science, never mind. And I think they're trying to connect truth to the hollow earth movement, fake hollow earth movement, pretends that they believe the earth is hollow, etc. To label you insane conspiracy theorists. I think that there is actually magma in the earth's molten inner core that you can see coming out during volcano eruptions, etc. And though theoretically it's possible that if you go behind the magma to the earth's inner core that it's hollow, I think it is very unlikely. There's also a movie about that. So that's interesting. And perhaps it's the same for everyone. Everybody has to deal with shit in their lives and with nice things as well. And the orgasm is about the best feeling that a person can have. And it's healing also. So then one of these broadcasts, you put them on the DVD basically, so that they're not erased by the EMP, or make your own broadcasts for universal peace to save your future and yourself. Or perhaps it's best to be dead anyway, and after they've depopulated 500 million, perhaps we all will have to serve the fake deity, and only to pay when you get to serve Lucifer, and the rest is killed if they do that. Of course, you first have to take Luciferian oath of the Freemasons, which, according to what I've read online, is only taken by the higher degree Masons, 32nd degree, like Obama, for example. And they might torture people for even revealing this, though the internet is full of it, so then theoretically millions of people were tortured for this. And well, I'm for killing the people that have murdered my mother with Haarp, and tortured the teeth out of my mouth. And lately I've thought about the fact again that it is Dutch voice, either neural network or the torturer, or neural network simulating the person, Project Immortality. And a neural network can be with people 24 hours a day. And it may be slowly putting me in a vegetative state with Haarp, basically. That's what it feels like. So it's not fun. And I'm just reporting it because I don't know what else to do. Because I think I'm tortured to death with Haarp, obviously. That they will have a fake scalar messiah and possibly get rid of all non-Jews. And if the mainstream media is 90% in the hands of the Jews and they have a kill switch, etc., and perhaps the Nazi flag in Congress balances all that. I have no idea. I hate their fucking torture and I hope to kill the fucking torturers and leave the rest alive. And who knows, who will discover that permanent cure against aging and stuff like that. Which is basically the only thing that counts, otherwise you'll be dead for the rest of eternity, which is not just a million years, but trillions of years. Much longer than trillions of years, unimaginably much longer. But the good thing about that is that you won't notice it if you're dead and your brain has stopped functioning and it's like sleep without dreams basically. You won't notice that you're still there. And there are several reasons people can lie about these things. Also because some people are afraid of death. And if they're all going to die anyway, they might make up stories to control people and so I think true believers also have the obligation to warn their fellow humans for the voice of God weapon against the hard torture done by these Satanists that want to kill innocent Christians, especially Protestant Christians, as clear from their extreme Jesuit oath, also found in the Library of Congress, covered in my previous broadcast, together with the Jesuit oath, the Luciferian oath, and the Illuminati blood oath murders. You can check their satanic calendar online of the Looney Satanists. So I consider all believers insane, whether they're Muslims, Christians, Satanists, Baha'i, or of any other faith. I'd have to check about Buddhism if there's anything wrong with that. But if they have no God, or it's more philosophical, then it might have wisdom and usable information. But I've heard it said that the CIA also controls them, of course. Monks setting themselves on fire doesn't make me feel good, or I want to be Beetle or whatever. I want to be a Beetle and I want to get stoned. She is still associated with the Beatles. Okay, what was I looking up? Oh yeah, right. The forbidden knowledge, of course. The only real one. And we are in the Roman calendar month of May. The May Day thing that they have.
May 24th Ascension Day, rituals to mark the ascension of Jesus Christ into heaven.
Jesus Christ never existed, also proven beyond any reasonable doubt by the zeitgeist. But I'm sure they crucified lots of other people. And it's a plagiarized version of the religion of the Egyptians, worship of the fake deity Horus. And that the zeitgeist movement is huge and still growing, and that people have seen the light that they expose religion. And also these speech errors are made by them, so they're seriously impeding progress towards a cure against aging and a perfect society in which they would have lived happily eternally. But they may still be able to put us on a normal timeline instead of a Luciferian timeline. Where there's a will, there's a way. Well, and not much happening in the month of May. Oh, I am live, so if I have viewers, and the viewers can call me live on Skype on Prologic999. So they just want to enslave you all and torture you all, pretend that Satans don't do human sacrifice anymore, shit to gain new tools that they can use for their dirty jobs, etc. It's not hot, so it sucks. It's much better to be with someone that cares for you, protects you, and stuff like that. Though, of course, I cannot completely trash Satanism. Because Satan doesn't exist. Bummer. I've discovered another bit of face over here. This is the nose, the eyes. Sort of wearing sunglasses. So perhaps people have never put a turret on the moon. I think I'm gonna get some tea, but I might end the broadcast when I'm not getting more important stuff. Usually my writings can also be an inspiration for me. So with the cancer harp, they can also give you the illusion that there's some female, and then they pretend that the female doesn't want you. They can also be brain controlled people, etc. To hook her up with some ugly guy that tortures her to death, etc. To depopulate the earth, okay? So let's get some tea. Okay? You're free. So the neural network tries to change when I need to go up into where I needs to go up, and people into peoples. And I'm just trying to register what it does, so that they can be caught by the rest of the world's people doing the right thing. Because they want to have a future and stuff like that. So I don't believe in anything, believing stupid, knowing smart, and I'm tired of the bullshit and their legal torture and their depopulation, the creepy things they've done. So perhaps it's best to make them all non-violent, but I think no one has ever succeeded at that until now. Ah, they're coming with more cancer Haarp farts. So they can do it in a very controlled manner, fitting in with the control of her brainwave. Making you laugh at me rather than with me. So they're living an illusion basically, these brain controlled people. You might think they're hearing the voice of God and that they've had a bit of the visions. It's not the same as apparitions and stuff like that. Which of course they could also make with Haarp. It's used to make these little crop circles. And they may be able to do a lot more with it than people imagine if they can clone brains and stuff like that. So the trick is just turning me into what you want me to be. And I mean using the people instead of getting rid of them to create whatever you want to create. Which can be a perfect society or anything else. You can control one of them, you can control them all, of course. You can control the brainwave and building of neural networks. Perhaps that's already happening. And then the question is, who are the people doing that besides the NSA, if anybody? Or if they have that Agenda 21 to depopulate, and if they have a deal with people in other countries. So I think people don't want to be controlled, they want to be free. And they only see life as having a leader. If the leader does what he's supposed to, if he makes life better for everybody rather than worse than it already is, to create Luciferian order or whatever. I wonder if there's a global signal that makes everybody tired, or if it's because of cancer chemtrails or whatever. So another idea might be that it's best not to help me or to visit me, that to kill you if you visit me or respond to one of my videos. Like I've explained, the opposite may also be true, that you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, programming basically. So whatever your decision is, you're always wrong. You also have to get rid of 93% of the world's total population. I'm not going to tell you what they want you to do and why they're torturing you, causing you cancer chemtrails, etc. They don't want you to know about it or to do anything about it. And especially that online real opposition next to the controlled opposition. But the other ideas that perhaps they do it. They can kill anybody anyway with their death rate. They might let it live to see what the real opposition would do. So that they can quench it and assimilate everyone. Some people are bone levels and they can't be anything else. We feel the energy flowing freely. So to tell you the truth, I had a bad day and I feel really tired. Shit, it sucks. It seems like everybody seems to benefit from it except me. Everybody has to deal with the stuff in their lives that they don't like. They haven't lost their teeth due to the dental Haarp torture. Most of them are not tortured in that manner. Directed energy weapons. Though there are thousands of targeted individuals. And people have been tortured themselves, have no doubt about it going on. So of course they might lie about it like everybody else. Trust no one, nothing is what it seems, etc. So based on that theory, the only way would be convincing or tricking the torturers into doing the right thing for a change. If it's failures to cope with not meeting the depopulation numbers that they've hoped for, etc. So hard. But life goes on. Nothing you can do about it. And I really don't like being bad, so I've been wondering if it's possible that the torturing me because I've been bad enough. Of course, if they are saying us in control, then it's possible that they have these nutty ideas. But you could argue I'm too tired to do anything. Muscle weakness and feeling too light. I lost too much weight. In reality, I could lose a very little bit of weight, but I didn't like being thinner. So looking at the moon. There also seems to be a bit of a line like this. Perhaps it's the hollow moon. It's like one of those surprise chocolates with a little plastic ball inside that you can open up basically. And then perhaps Tinkerbell's inside of a plastic car or whatever that they can eat. Choke to death on. These kids. Where did you find these kids? Anyways. Okay. Now everybody knows you are a pedophile. Actually, I'm kidding. Most people are definitely not pedophiles, so I think you're not one either. That most people are attracted more to people older than 11. The criterion for being pedophile is younger than 11, which I think many people don't know. But now you know, whatever. So perhaps it's just better to be dead anyway. So then we can wonder, aren't we in a negative dystopia already? With all these satellites buzzing around our ears, etc. And of course, GMO mosquitoes that were released there did not spread the Zika, though it also broke out in exactly that area and stuff. It's ridiculous to think that, of course, in the Pacific water, 47,500 polio vaccinated children that are now paraplegics due to the Bill & Melinda Gates polio vaccine are not made by polio vaccine either. They're walking around happily. Well, Terminator gene suicides worked. So no Indian chick has visited me either. I'm totally lonely here in my room with lights on. I don't hear the beat of music because I cannot simulate the room because it's illegal to play these copyrighted tracks and shit. They've ruined that as well. I can't do anything. I'm sitting here watching it, a fucking picture of the fucking moon while it's outside over there behind the tree. Just behind over there. If you keep your head backwards, still backwards in this awkward position, it doesn't feel nice, then you can see it. For me. So the moon rolling around. Well, I wouldn't mess with the moon, and it's possible that if the moon would lose its orbit around Earth, that all life would cease to exist. I've explained it in one of my previous broadcasts. And the moon may also have to do with life on Earth, and certain cycles, and tides of the water, etc. Especially if it would crash into Earth, it would be fun for most people. But let me know what you think about it. Want me to think. Love. Isn't it Homer Simpson? No. But perhaps an alien version of Homer Simpson. This one with the eyes over here. But now it looks more like an alien or something with the teeth over here. And the nose. Oh, I hope that it uploaded. So I don't do the AdSense thing because I don't want commercials in my videos. They should be free, and because I don't like commercials and whatever. It's like processing it 4 times. It's weird. And Dinner with My Father was uploaded. And it has the text-to-speech engine as well. That's really good. So that might be less boring than this one. Actually, I know it's less boring. Because it's about Intel stuff that you can use and good ideas are inspiration to everybody to create universal peace and live in harmony together. Share love, don't share it, they need help. Simple. So then you have the choice. It's your choice. You have to choose the red pill or the green pill. Makes sense? What gives you the choice? Well, I think it looks interesting. 4 times processing. Unite to prevent the Luciferian genocide and Haarp torture for universal peace. Well, yeah, thinking about how to do that. How to unite people to prevent Luciferian genocide. Well, just connecting with me basically, saying we want you in our group, you have attempted to press charges against these people, at least you've tried to do the right thing, and we think that it's more than likely that you're telling the truth because of a number of reasons. Perhaps they've been tortured themselves with directed energy weapons, and we should unite and perhaps create a new group together. We can brainstorm about the best name, etc. And then make a sort of really doctrine, but the idea of sharing the information that we have to achieve these goals that we want. A cure against aging, perfect society, and to end directed energy weapon torture, to completely abolish torture, which is a disgrace to the human race, and to expose religion and depopulation, other things that need to be fixed if we want to ever get the cure against aging in a perfect society in which we all live happily eternally. And I think it's just around the corner that you just have to take over these people with Haarp that have tortured me and other innocent people, and or that they themselves must see the light and create these things by not controlling the people that must not be controlled, etc. To deal with their time and money and love and hate as wisely as possible, and to use logic instead of letting their emotions control them. But many people at a certain point, I think, would be controlled by their emotions, also by torture, etc. And that there are limits to what they can do nowadays. You can think about it, but all this talk might just make it worse instead of better. So at this point I'm just totally freebasing, or how do you say, and who killed Prince? If you know, please respond in the comments, or better yet, Skype me. You can Skype me live. I'm live now. I can show myself to you all. It's at hour 2:13. And they can also make you feel tired with Haarp. So this kind of nuisance that the camera is over there, but if I place it there then I look even worse with the sunlight. So I put it back over there. I think the best way is to put it on the monitor and use captions, basically, like people have seen them. And I teach you all what I know for as far as possible from world teaching, in the hope that you all create it. I would die from some meteor crashes on my head, or if I'm killed with Haarp, like I've claimed in previous broadcasts that I will be, then you all can continue carrying the torch, or rather stop carrying the torch and come up with a better idea. Okay. So far on top of it. And of course at 2:13 the Dutch people, most of them are probably asleep, especially if they have to work the next day at Saturday. Oh, it's Friday today, so that means today's Friday. That far gone. So I think torturers, tyrants are religious in reality. But they're getting rid of 93% of the world's total population. And they're Jesuits and Freemasons basically. And Knights of Malta, and together less than 1% of the world's total population. Bilderberg, etc. So I hope they create universal peace. They run the show, and they have a lot more influence than most people. So usually I'm very negative about them, but perhaps they also liked it after a while. It's just desensitizing.